Hi, I'm Charles.
And I'm Caroline. We got married in June and now we're sailing around the Atlantic Ocean for the year. Come join us as we document our journey. In this episode, we do repairs and maintenance on Caris in Cascais Marina and also prepare some Orca deterrents.
So this morning we are due to change or fix the Autopilot. In order for that to happen, we need to get under here. So let's get this set up here. Under here is the steering quadrant, and that little box which is all half been taken off, this is the Autopilot's arm. So we're just going to go uncouple that and take it to the good boys on the dock to see if they can fix it.
Charles has got the Autopilot arm.
So we just need to go fit this back in the boat now. Sounds like an easy job, but I'm sure it'll take longer than we expect. So now we've got the Autopilot's arm. Just needs to get all the way under the bed, which will be a bit of a pain. Here we go. So we have managed to get the Autopilot back in, putting the pin through on that side and the pin there holding it. One good thing I've learned is to take a photograph of all the electronics, or the way that it's all wired, because I inevitably forget. So very helpfully there's a photo there, so we can just copy it into there. So that's Caroline moving the steering wheel. We're about to switch the Autopilot on to see if it does anything. Yeah, could you put it to auto please for a sec? Could you press +5? It's always worrying when you have leftover screws when you put back together something. But actually it's okay, because the guys who fix the Autopilot put in new screw bolts, so we've got some spares now. So we're just fixing the binnacle, sorry, the compass back onto the binnacle, and the wiring for the compass light was all rusted, so we're just going to refit the wires with a new terminal and put that on. So this morning we are flushing the water maker. We pickled it in La Rochelle whilst we were away for a bit, but now we need to remember how to do it. Sounds promising, and there we go. Hopefully that's us sorted. We're just going to wash the boat, wash the cockpit this morning before we head off, because we all know that a clean boat is a fast boat. So this is our sail repair kit, which we're going to use, probably the owl today, to stitch the sliders on. One of the sliders broke on the passage down from La Rochelle, so we're just getting around to do it now. So we need to remove the stitching on the webbing here. It's about the same size, it'll do. To stitch it on we have our speedy sewing hour, and Caroline has a very sharp knife, courtesy of work, leaving gift, so thank you Paddy and team, this is going to be very useful. We use it a lot, and we'll use it to carefully undo the stitching on the webbing. It's a very sharp knife, which is excellent. Great, so we'll need to take this off as well. So we do a loop there, and it goes round the eye of the luff of the sail, round once into this hole, and back round twice, and then all stitched with a speedy stitcher, cinching all four then, down even. I wonder if it's worth having some spare webbing for this sort of thing. What do you reckon?
Is there any in the kit?
I'm sure we could fashion some from a sail tie. So to get this off. We need to get this off to get the slider on. So me, in my infinite wisdom, unscrewed this bolt to take this plate off so we can put the mainsail slider in eventually, and the nut went all the way down to the bottom of the mast, all the way past these cars, all the way down this groove, all the way down to here, and you can just see it sticking out there. So we're going to have to, well, we'd picked it up by the shaft and tried to bring it all the way back up, but we'll never ever get it past this block here where the boom attacks the mast, nor all the cable sliders. So we really scuppered ourselves. So what we're going to try and do is mouse some sewing twine all the way down using one of these nuts as a weight, and once it gets all the way down to the bottom, we're going to try and tie it onto this nut and pull the whole thing back up and start again, and this time try not to drop anymore. If you kind of shake it down, can you see it's down there? So there you go, all the way down. It's down. Well done, Carrie. You see the nuts there now? String down there. We're again using Caroline's old work tool. So thanks Paddy and team again. Okay, so now we've got it on the slip knot. Well done, Caroline. Got the bolt out. That caused us a lot of drama. So next time for the top one we're going to put some kitchen roll in, so we won't repeat the mistake which cost us 20 minutes. Yes! Well done. So the way I think we make this speedy stitch using this owl, we have enough thread slack for the job we need. We put it in, put it through even the webbing, take that slack, which is there, bring it back out, and then move a little bit further on and put it back through. So we made the first stitch. Then this little hole you've made here, I believe you put it through. Oh, cumbersome fingers of mine. You bring it back, you pull the whole thing tight, and that's your first stitch. That's good, isn't it? There you go, as you said. Very good. Ooh. Nearly dropped it on your foot. I would have been
millimeters.
Boy, I would have been in trouble. Oh my god. Okay, so what did the good video say? Go in at the top. Bring all the slack through. Alright.
Mm-hmm.
Then you pull it back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then you back in, right?
Yeah.
Slightly further down. All the way through. And back out.
Yeah. Make the loop.
And then bring it all the way back out. First stitch. And then you go back down, don't you? Mm-hmm. So Caroline is now going to take the mainsail sliders all the way up and off using this hole which we took out just now. The new slider has been put on. Hopefully that won't break. If it does, it'll be entirely my fault because I stitched it. Yeah, how are we gonna...
Here we're opening up the deck organiser to replace some of the sheaths that had cracked over time. We had some new ones custom made in Cascais.
So now we have cleaned the deck and the base of the deck organiser. We were going to use this lano guard grease on the shoulder where the where the sheaths would make contact with the metal, but we thought the grease might attract grit and all that, so we're just going to put a bit of silicone spray on. Might do the same, might cause the same problem, but we're just going to try it that way. We seem to use the sink a lot as a workstation, which probably isn't very good, but it does the job. So we're going to clean the top part of the bracket of the deck organiser. There's a lot of built up calcified material. So we are trying to get all the old Sikaflex off the thread of the screws or bolts, whatever they are, whichever one they are. Stick your finger nail in the groove and then twist. Poor Caroline's nails aren't doing so well, but my grizzy nails are absolutely fine.
Now we're getting some Sikaflex.
Being very thrifty and using an old tin, because if you puncture halfway down, or where you've not used before, there we go, so you get still some good stuff. I learnt that from Barry the old sea dog, so thank you very much, Barry. So you've Sikaflexed the deck, now we need to Sikaflex the base of, that's the top one, of the bracket. So now we Sikaflex both, we're going to stick it on. So which one is that again?
That's the out hole.
The top one now, please. And then, should we put this in first just to find the hole? Okay, find the hole. So, we started doing it all nicely, Sikaflexing the bolts, but then we realised we forgot to put the ropes in the sheaths, which actually I've done before, so. Okay, so now we're downstairs, the headlining's all down. We put all the screws through. Interestingly, perfect bit of Sikaflex, which we put in there, seems to have come out. But I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, the middle one, so. Spanner. It's alright. You holding it, Cara? So, we've got the headlining down for the Galley, and this is the 12 volt positive going into the rocker switch, which switches the lights on like this. We have plumbed in or teed off that using this terminal, and then from that we've teed off the positive negative for the fan. We've plumbed the negative wire into the negative in the circuit of the whole system, although we didn't know if it was going to be correct because the positive is before the switch and the negative is after the switch. But we've just tested it with a multimeter, and we've run the fan. The fan runs when the switch is on or off, and the lights still work, so we're taking that as a win. So we're about to leave for the Canaries tomorrow. There's been a fair number of orcas in the area attacking boats. They've been eating the rudders and stuff, so obviously we don't want this to happen to us. One of the forums on Facebook have said to go backwards with the rudder, so backwards with the boat, so the propeller's just behind the rudder, so the orcas don't really like it. Another boat in the marina next to us said that they put a flare in the water and the orca disappeared immediately, so that's what we're going to do. We've got a trusty broom handle here, and we're just going to attach the flare onto it. So the flare is very easy, it's handheld. Hold this plastic bit, you pop the cap. In here is a piece of string, and then if you were to pull that string, it will set the flare off, and that'll burn for a few minutes. Instructional on the side, but in an emergency you just need to know exactly how to do it. So we're going to cut with a hacksaw a couple of lines up here so it can kind of splay onto the front like this. So actually, here's one I made earlier. So can you see here, we've opened that up. So now, put that on like this, and then we're going to put some black gaffer tape on like this. So it's important to have a couple of flares and backup in case they come back, or if one isn't enough. So that's why we're doing 2. We should really do 3 or more, but obviously I don't want to use all our boat's flares for Orca, because in case of an emergency and abandoning ship, obviously we'll be pretty cross if we used up all our flares already. So the crucial thing we're trying to do is make sure this is easily replaceable by the next one, so we can just bang the next one on as quick as possible. So at the moment it's fairly stiff, little hold, and now we have a long pole to dip in the water should the orcas come, so hopefully we won't have to use this. So now we're putting the holes, the grooves in the handle, using the hacksaw. That's good. Rotate 90 degrees. Using the best kitchen sink as a tool station. So now these can all splay out, so they can be stuck on the end of the boom. Not the boom, the broom handle. Caroline unfortunately dropped her sunglasses overboard this morning. Fortunately for her, I went and got it. So, a little surprise to Caroline when she comes back will be her glasses returned to her.
In the next episode, we leave Portugal to sail to the Canaries. We knock off another 1,000 miles, and we catch a rather unexpected fish.